All right, folks, we're going to do examples Rajul, problem number 10. This is going to work a lot like problem number 9 in this same sequence. So if you're confused about what I'm doing here, please look at problem number 9 because I go in much greater detail in problem number 9 on how to do this problem. So let's go ahead and start this out. It looks like we're going to use guideline number 1 right away because we've got an even identity that we have to deal with right here in the form of secant of negative x. So let's go ahead and take care of that right now. So that becomes tangent squared x over secant x plus 1 plus 1. And now, just like I did before, I'm going to use both a Pythagorean identity and difference of squares to help myself out. So, using the Pythagorean identity, tangent of squared x equals secant squared x minus 1, I can then use difference of squares, where that's a squared minus b squared, to do some magic. So that's going to become secant squared x minus 1 becomes secant x plus 1 times secant x minus 1. And that's a squared minus b squared equals a plus b times a minus b. So we know that. So that's what our general strategy here is going to be. So let's go ahead and start using that strategy right now. All right, using my Pythagorean identity, tangent squared x becomes secant squared x minus 1 over secant x plus 1 plus 1. Now I'm going to use difference of squares to simplify that even further. That's going to become secant x plus 1 times secant x minus 1 over secant of x plus 1 plus 1. We can cancel these out. That's going to become secant of x minus 1 plus 1. The ones are going to cancel out. And that's going to become secant of x. So that means that this horrible looking expression here was simplified all the way down to secant of x. Let's see if that's correct using Desmos. Okay, so as we can see right here, we've got our initial expression, tangent squared x over secant of negative x plus 1 plus 1. And we've also got secant of x, our answer on the bottom, and we just want to make sure that secant of x can cover that up. And it looks like it did. So it looks like we got the right answer. And that was examples Rajul, problem number 10.